Hello everyone and welcome to my CSU channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chase Chrisley admits he was humbled by parents' incarceration. Chase Chrisley has admitted that he was humbled by his parents' incarceration. This was a hard time for him and his entire family. Savannah Chrisley took custody of their younger siblings, Grayson and Chloe. However, Chase also had a lot on his plate and was going through a lot at this time. He has admitted a lot of feelings that he had during the time that they were in prison. There is a lot to unfold and uncover. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Chase Chrisley arrested, then gets sober. Chase Chrisley was arrested a few months ago for assault and battery. He was accused of punching a manager at a bar after being told to leave. The cops picked Chase up after he had already left. However, this was a turning point in his life. He decided that he needed to cut alcohol out. Chase knew that he didn't react well when he was drinking, so he decided to quit. Since then, he has worked on releasing a non-alcoholic seltzer called Gold Drop. This was a big step for him, but he is proud of himself, and his family and friends are proud of him as well. He admits he was humbled by his parents' incarceration. Chase Chrisley has admitted that he was humbled when his parents went to federal prison for tax evasion and fraud. This was hard for Chase. However, he is glad that he grew the way he did during that time. It seems as though Chase was going through a lot when his parents were in prison. He realized that he had to pull himself together and work on himself. Not only that, but he had to do everything himself and not rely on his mom or dad anymore. It was hard for him. However, he was able to do it, and looking back, he is glad he could. What do you think about this situation? Do you think this was hard on Chase? When Todd and Julie Chrisley first reported to federal prison in January 2023, their absence left a gaping hole in the Chrisley family's everyday life, one that their oldest son, Chase Chrisley, admits he never truly imagined. Known to Chrisley knows best fans as the wisecracking, laid-back son who could turn almost anything into a joke, Chase found himself in a reality that was no longer filtered through TV cameras or scripted family banter. It was real, it was raw, and, as he now admits, it was humbling in a way he never saw coming. I thought I understood life, and I thought I understood myself, Chase recently shared in a candid interview. But when your world gets flipped upside down and your parents, the people who've been your rock, are suddenly gone, it changes you in ways you can't explain until you've lived it. From comfort to crisis. Before his parents' sentencing, Chase was riding a wave of reality TV fame, brand collaborations, and an active social life. He had a close bond with both Todd and Julie, but like many adult children, he sometimes took that bond and their constant presence for granted. The Chrisley household had always been a safety net, even when Chase stumbled. The sudden loss of that safety net hit harder than he expected. One day, I could pick up the phone and call my mom to ask the most random question, like how long to bake chicken or where she bought that candle I liked, Chase said with a small laugh. The next day, I'm writing letters and waiting weeks for a reply. And Todd, whose booming voice and sharp wit had shaped much of Chase's own personality, was now speaking to him only in monitored phone calls. A new role in the family. Chase wasn't just dealing with his own emotions, he also had to step into a bigger role within the family. With his sister Savannah suddenly taking guardianship of their younger brother Grayson and niece Chloe, Chase became a source of support and stability for her. It's been a team effort, he explained. Savannah's been amazing, but I know she's had moments where she just needed someone to step in, whether it was running errands, helping with the kids, or just being there so she could take a break. In the past, Chase had often been portrayed as the one who needed help, not the one giving it. But this chapter of his life flipped the script. It's funny, he said. When you're forced to step up, you realize you were capable of more than you thought. Facing public scrutiny. Of course, The Chrisley family has never had the luxury of going through personal struggles in private. From the moment Todd and Julie's legal troubles began, media headlines and social media comments have been relentless. Chase admitted that the public judgment wore on him. I didn't want to leave my house because I didn't want to hear the whispers or see the looks, he said. But you get to a point where you realize people are gonna believe what they want to believe. All I can do is live my truth and take care of my family. The online speculation about his parents' guilt or innocence was another emotional weight. I love my parents. I know who they are. That's what I hold on to, he said firmly. Humbled by the little things. The word humbled came up repeatedly during Chase's reflection, not in the cliché, celebrity soundbite way, but in a deeply personal sense. When you have everything you could want at your fingertips, you start thinking that's normal, he explained. But when that's taken away, when you're sitting in your apartment eating a sandwich because you don't have the energy to cook, or when you're trying to figure out how to do stuff your mom always did without thinking, you realize how much you depended on the little things, and you stop taking them for granted. Even his visits to see Todd and Julie became humbling moments. You walk into that prison and see your mom in khaki clothes instead of her usual dresses, or your dad without his tailored suit, and it hits you. They're still them, but the setting is so wrong. It makes you appreciate every hug, every smile, every joke. Learning to listen. Chase admitted that before his parents' incarceration, he wasn't always the best listener. I'd hear what people were saying, but I wasn't really listening, he confessed. Now, I make it a point to really be present in conversations, because I know what it's like to miss out on those moments. He's applied this lesson not just to family, but also to his friends and even strangers. You never know what someone's going through. If I've learned anything, it's that people carry silent battles all the time. Faith and perspective. The Chrisleys have always been open about their Christian faith, and for Chase, leaning into that faith has been essential. There were nights I prayed harder than I ever have in my life, he shared. I asked God for strength, for patience, for wisdom, and I also asked him to keep my parents safe. That spiritual grounding has helped him see the bigger picture. I believe there's a reason for everything, even when it's hard to understand, he said. Maybe part of this reason was for me to grow up, to see life differently, and to value what truly matters. Looking ahead. While Todd and Julie still have time left on their sentences, Chase is already thinking about the day they come home. I picture us all sitting around the table again, laughing, eating mom's cooking, and just being together. That's all I want, not the big vacations, not the fancy stuff, just time. Until then, he plans to keep building his own path, focusing on business ventures, strengthening family ties, and continuing to share his journey with fans in an authentic way. I'm not perfect, he admitted. I've made mistakes, and I'll probably make more, but I'm trying to be a better man every day. A changed man. When asked if he feels like the same Chase Chrisley fans met on TV years ago, he smiled. In some ways, yeah, I'll always be the guy who loves a good laugh and a good time, but I'm also more grounded now. I see what matters, and I don't waste as much energy on what doesn't. That balance, holding onto his humor while deepening his sense of responsibility, might just be the most lasting change of all. Life has a way of humbling you when you least expect it, Chase said. I didn't ask for this chapter, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but it's made me stronger, and it's made me grateful. And at the end of the day, I think that's what my parents would want, for me to come out of this better than I went in.